August 8, 1963, a train in England carrying millions in cash was supposed to make a routine journey. But what happened that night wasn't just a robbery, it was one of the boldest heists in history. This is the story of the Great Train Robbery. It was just after 3 a.m. when the Glasgow to London Royal Mail train came to a sudden stop near Ledburn, Buckinghamshire. A red signal light had forced the driver to halt, unaware that it had been tampered with. Within moments, masked men stormed the train, overpowering the crew, and unloading sacks of cash. By the time the gang disappeared into the night, they had stolen the equivalent of more than $60 million in today's money. This wasn't just a robbery, it was a carefully planned operation that shocked Britain and captured headlines across the world. The mastermind behind the heist was Bruce Reynolds, a career criminal who had assembled a team of about 15 men. Their target? The high-value package carriage of the Royal Mail train, which that night carried more than £2.6 million, an unimaginable sum in the 1960s. The gang cut the telephone wires in the area to delay any alarm. Then, using a fake signal lamp, they forced the train to stop. With military-like precision, they attacked, subdued the train driver, and gained access to the money-laden carriage. In just 30 minutes, they loaded 120 mail sacks filled with cash into a waiting truck. After the robbery, the gang retreated to Leatherslade Farm, a safe house they had prepared in advance. Here, they counted the money and divided the shares. But it was their biggest mistake. They left behind fingerprints, food wrappers, and evidence that would later lead police straight to them. The robbery triggered one of the largest manhunts in British history. Newspapers turned the robbers into anti-heroes, with some even calling it the crime of the century. But the law eventually caught up. Within weeks, police raided Leatherslade Farm and gathered crucial forensic evidence. One by one, gang members were arrested. In 1964, most of the robbers were sentenced to 30 years in prison, unprecedented sentences for the time. Yet the story didn't end there. Several robbers managed daring escapes. Ronnie Biggs, one of the most famous, scaled the prison wall with a rope ladder and fled abroad, living as a fugitive in Brazil for decades before finally returning to Britain in 2001. The legend of the Great Train Robbery grew with every twist, not just because of the money stolen, but because of the boldness of the act and the personalities of the men behind it. The Great Train Robbery remains etched in history as one of the most audacious crimes ever committed. It changed how Britain viewed crime and punishment, inspired countless books and films, and ensured the robbers' names would live on in infamy. Even today, mystery lingers. Not all of the money was ever recovered, and debates still swirl about who else might have been involved. The Great Train Robbery of 1963 wasn't just a theft. It was a story of daring, betrayal, and the thin line between legend and crime, a reminder that sometimes, reality can be stranger than fiction.